Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Years ago, I remember watching a young quarterback at a high school football game. It was a big game. I don't think it wasn't championship, but it was big. It was kind of a rivalry sort of a game. Not the rivalry game, but a rivalry game. Stands are packed. You could feel the tension, right? I think the kids add to that. But anyhow, it's late in the fourth quarter, and this quarterback's team is driving. He's driving the team, and everything seems to be working great, right? The big comeback, this is all going to work out. And then he throws an interception. Not because he didn't care, not because he didn't prepare. He prepared. I mean, the whole game kind of bared that out. He just misread the defense. Game over. Now, here's what was interesting for me, and I'm a sports person. It wasn't the mistake that was interesting, but what happened after the mistake. You see, his teammates didn't avoid him. Coaches didn't avoid him. Nobody blamed him. They put their arms around him. The coach pulled him aside, not to tear him down, but to teach him. And the crowd, they applauded him as he walked off. Why? Because everyone in this situation knew really something important. He was trying to win. He was trying to win the game for the team. He wasn't sitting on the bench doing nothing. He wasn't breaking rules. And that moment is exactly where great teams are built. And it's exactly where great networks are built too. Many people lump all mistakes together. A referral gone wrong, a missed follow-up, a bad introduction. We treat them the same. But they're not the same. They're not even close. Now, there are three concepts, and I learned this my first year in law school, and it has really stuck with me. And I think about it a lot, especially in business. When I was working in a firm, when I was out on my own as an attorney, as I've basically taken over and grown AmSpirit Business Connections, there are really three sorts of mistakes. There's misfeasance, doing something but doing it poorly or incorrectly. There's nonfeasance, not doing something you should have done. And then there's malfeasance, doing something wrong, harmful, or unethical. Now, I'm going to review each of these in detail, and you need to understand these, because if you don't understand them, you run the risk of damaging good relationships and maybe rewarding the wrong behaviors. The first type of mistake, malfeasance, the poison in the system. This is really an easy one. This is when someone knowingly does harm. They might lie in a referral, they might cheat a client, they misrepresent someone, they take advantage of trust. This is the equivalent of a player intentionally tripping a teammate. There's really no gray area. It's not really a debate. In networking terms, trust is a currency. Malfeasance is counterfeit money. And counterfeit money doesn't belong in circulation. The second type of error, nonfeasance, the silent killer. Again, malfeasance is doing something intentionally harmful, right? Nonfeasance it's a little more subtle, a little more common. This is the person who says they'll make an introduction and never does. It's someone who promises to follow up and then disappears. It's someone who sits in a meeting, consumes value, but never contributes. There's no explosion, there's no drama, it's just absence. The person hasn't done anything wrong, they just haven't done anything. It's like a teammate who never shows up for practice. They're not hurting you directly, but they're definitely not helping you win. And here's the truth that most people don't want to say out loud. Nonfeasance erodes a network slowly, but consistently. No, someone committing nonfeasance is not doing something harmful. They're not intentionally hurting you, but they're hurting you. Sometimes it's easy to turn a blind eye towards nonfeasance and make excuses. Well, they didn't really intend to do anything bad. They were busy, whatever it is. But again, it hurts you in a quiet sort of a way. Now let's talk about the third mistake, misfeasance. This is the one we get wrong. It gets to the heart of it. Misfeasance is effort gone sideways. It's a referral that didn't work perfectly. It's an introduction that didn't land. It's advice that missed the mark. But here's the key, is they tried. So when somebody's coming to me and they make an introduction and it's really not a good fit, you know what? Thank you for the effort. Or someone makes an introduction for me and I already know the person. You know what? I'm going to applaud that. That's great because you've connected me with the right person. This is a great person. The fact that I already know them, you wouldn't have known. But you've made the effort. You've taken the time. You've determined that, hey, this could be a good person for Frank. And you're right. Sadly, I already know the person. It's not a crime. You've done something. Again, they tried. So go back to the quarterback. Yes, he threw the interception because he was trying to win. And yet in business networking, what do we often do? Someone sends a less than perfect referral and we judge them. Kind of snicker behind their back. They don't understand. We might hesitate next time. We might pull back. We might not follow up on things that they're doing. We might not give things to them. And what happens? They stop trying. Now think about that for a second. You're punishing effort. And when you punish effort, you don't get better results. You get less effort. So if you want to be a great participant within your network, don't just tolerate misfeasance, celebrate it. Why? Because efforts compound. Think about it. A person who gives you one imperfect referral today, and you treat them the right way, they become the person who gives you 5 better ones tomorrow. But only if they feel safe to try. A garden doesn't grow because every seed becomes a perfect plant. It grows because enough seeds are planted. Misfeasance is planting seeds. Nonfeasance is leaving the soil empty. Malfeasance is poisoning the ground. So let's explore some practical applications for making the best out of misfeasance. 3 simple things. Number 1, acknowledge the effort out loud. When someone tries something, no matter how imperfect it might be, no matter how it ended up, thank them. Specifically thank them. I really appreciate the introduction. No, it's not what I'm looking for, but the effort was there. The thought was there. Thank you. Keep it up. Be specific with respect to that. Maybe go public with it and just acknowledge what this person's doing. Simple action number 2. Coach, don't criticize. Saying something like, hey, I really appreciate the introduction. Wasn't great. Let me share with you what I'm really looking for and why this one was just not quite right. You're getting warmer, you're in the ballpark or something like that, but just coach them so the next 5 they give you still might not be perfect, but they're getting better and better and better. So acknowledge the effort, coach them, don't criticize them. And number 3, and this is going to seem maybe a little counterintuitive, but number 3 is model the behavior. Model the behavior. Give referrals, make introductions, take swings, be imperfect, and bounce back from your imperfection. And if someone doesn't treat you correctly, then in a private moment, just address them and explain the difference between nonfeasance, malfeasance, and misfeasance. And that you're trying and you want to try and you want to learn and show me how I can be better. We don't build a referral network by being perfect. We build it by being active. We build it by making mistakes and trying to fix those mistakes. Plant lots of seeds, you'll have a great garden. Don't plant any seeds, you'll never have a garden. Poison the soil, forget it. We don't even need to talk about that. Think of it in terms of that quarterback I started with. He threw the interception. Game over. here's what really mattered. The coach didn't bench him. The team didn't stop throwing the ball. And the quarterback, he didn't stop trying. Because everyone understood something simple, but really something powerful. You don't win without taking risks. And in your network, it's the same story. If people are afraid to make a mistake, they'll stop making referrals. If they stop making referrals, the whole thing stalls out. So the next time someone in your network throws an interception, pardon the metaphor, don't bench them, put your arm around them, coach them, encourage them, because the person who's trying and sometimes gets it wrong are the same people who over time help you win. And in the end, that's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connections. All rights reserved.